RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right, we're having a show. We're having a show on Wednesday. Yeah. Or during the week. I've been remiss the past couple of weeks, unable to do a show during the week, so I'm glad to be able to do it now. Not sure how long it's going to be. I had a very long day. Look at me. I've aged 1,000 years in a day. I just got back from the Wild Bird Fund. I had to take some poor little squirrels to the Wild Bird Fund. They were abandoned. I don't know what happened. There was a construction site. I was alerted by somebody that knows I do animal rescue that there were these squirrels. Excuse me, allergies. And I waited there all day with the squirrels, in a box far away in the vicinity, playing squirrel sounds, baby squirrel sounds. So hopefully Mama would come back, but she never did. And peanuts everywhere, squirrel sounds. So I couldn't leave the babies out there, so I had to drive into the city, into Manhattan, to the Wild Bird Fund. I love the Wild Bird Fund. So what a great place. That's one of the reasons I love New York, that we have something like that. A wildlife rehab center for the littlest New Yorkers, like our little squirrel friends. And I hope Mama's all right. That's all I have to say. Poor Mama. Poor little Mama. And let me see if I could show you a picture. It was very cute. They're very cute. Little squirrelies. Here's one. Let me see. Where's my camera? Oh, look how cute, right? They're adorable. But they'd make an easy snack for any predator that came out at night looking for a meal. All right, listen. Where do we start? Where do I begin? Thank you, Charlie. Let's say... Oh, yes, I said shit, Kathy. I heard Tara say shit. Yes, because I forgot to connect Facebook, and then I thought, fuck that. Who cares? Whatever. There's so many buttons I have to push whenever the show goes on. I forget. I'm a little, tired now. I think it's from being in the sun. When you're out in the sun all day, then you come home at night and you kind of feel tired. But it's okay. It's a Wednesday, so we have the freedom to do as long or short of a show as we feel like. So we'll see where it goes. Right? I just wanted to touch base with everybody and say hello. Hey, Charlie from APS Radio News. Thank you so much for making this show part of your APS Radio News roster and for making my day and night with all your support of the community cats. Damn, kid. It does go to the community cats. I just want you to know, of course. Uh-oh. Someone's meowing. Francis, what's going on? I hear Francis. I don't like it. I don't like something's happening. All right, it doesn't matter. Doesn't it something always happening? That's the nature of life. But thank you, Charlie, for all your support of the show and of the community cat. And it means a lot. Look, hey, this stuff matters. Look at this little guy. Poor guy, right? Little man or woman. I mean, it's a life. It's a life. It matters to this little creature. Maybe one day. That's what the Wild Bird Fund gives me hope. Because there is, and we've discussed this before, as much as, a lot of people suck. Well, Republicans, Trump is a sociopath. What's her name? Kristi Noem, sociopath, no doubt. In my mind, nobody does that. Nobody shoots a dog in the face and then goes, "Where's that goat I hate?" and shoots a goat for being a goat and shoots a dog for being a dog. and then boasts about it as if it's some kind of selling point for your candidacy, without having some kind, not just being a sociopath, but I guess it's connected, but having this complete disconnect from humanity, your basic humanity, compassion, decency, caring, feeling of empathy, putting yourself in the shoes of the vulnerable. I guess you can't do that, Christy Nome. Every day I keep thinking about that. What the thing that's good that we should, I guess, take heart in is that her behavior is universally reviled for the most part. I'm sure Trump doesn't understand why, but he's keeping his lie hole shut because he wants to see how it all plays out, because he's just a dirtbag who he's got no core convictions. His only conviction is, how does this serve me? Does this make me more palatable to the ghouls who vote for me, to the racists, to the people who think that Americans need to be hurt? As long as they're the right Americans being hurt. So, but the fact that her behavior is for the most part considered disgusting, that's good. That's a good sign. But there are, I don't know why anyone who has feelings would put someone who isn't, capable of human compassion in any position of power. How do you vote for something like that? So there's I'm not sure. I'm not saying that all Republicans are sociopaths. Of course not. That's impossible. It's statistically impossible. But there is there's some damage going on, unresolved issues. Not that we all don't. I have issues. We all do. I mean, I've been to therapy though. Not that, whatever, one day at a time, you know what I mean? But you work on it. God. But you can't fix perfect. That's the other thing I can't stand with the Republicans. They think that compassion is weakness. And that's why Christy Nove dared to put a story like that in her book, as if it's, and then continue to justify it as well. It's reminiscent of Sarah Palin, if we all remember her boasting about hunting wolves from a helicopter. Nice sport you got there. Very sporting of you. Maybe put the wolves in a fucking helicopter. Right? Give them guardians who are able to fly a helicopter. Then you can have an equal sport. But, that's Republicans. And then the other thing, what did she, for her reality TV show, because that's all they care about is attention, money, right? That's really it. Whether she gets it in the vice president's office or on the stage of the masked singer. It doesn't matter. She's getting power. She's getting money. She's getting the attention. But that's that they desperately crave. Like perjury trader Green. What do you think she's doing? And besides creating content for her podcast with every insufferable move she makes and word that comes out of her mouth. Oh my God. But what was I saying? Yes, with the compassion. With Republicans, cruelty is the point, as we know. And what I was saying about we were just reminiscing about Sarah Palin, how in her reality TV show she executed a moose. Oh yes. Hunting. She was hunting because that's what you do on your reality TV show. You want to show everybody what a amazing hunter you are, because that's what Republicans like to see. They like to see you killing things for fun, for just fun. Like, you like to see the light go out of somebody's eyes for fun. And this poor moose, this beautiful creature that never did, what the hell did that moose do to you, Sarah Palin? Leave it alone. But I remember we talked about it on the show. It's a brilliant article. Someone wrote, I can't remember who. I think it was some screenwriter wrote this article. I should look that up. Let me see, screenwriter, because he called it a snuff film. It was like the first. He said something. He compared it to the first animal that died for politics, for somebody's politics. Wait, let's see. Let me see, screenwriter. I'll just look this up. Sarah Palin moose. And the way he described... Yeah, Aaron Sorkin attacked Sarah Palin over moose hunting. That was years ago. Man. 2010, when we were young. Yeah, she killed a moose on reality TV. Well, I guess we should count ourselves lucky that Kristi Noem didn't videotape her dragging a beautiful animal into a gravel pit and shooting it in the face. So vile. And then wondering why. What's the big deal? Lots of tough decisions have to be made on a farm. That was what she was saying. On a farm. The dog wasn't trained, dummy. Take it away. Go. I don't want to get into it again, but go to a shelter. Take it to a shelter, you horrible... Ugh. You waste of human DNA. And that's why I call them wastes of human DNA. Because what good is the human DNA if you behave like an animal? Like a monster. You know, that's what... When human beings are selfish and sick and they harm other human beings for their own prurient pleasure, we strip them of the moniker of human. Right? They don't get to call themselves that. We call them monsters. They're no longer human. Well, what do you call that, Kristi Noem? What does it mean to be a human if you don't know how to act like one? If you act like an animal, because another thing that the Republicans say in general, or hunters or people who, kill animals for fun, they say, well, they kill each other, so what's the big deal? Well, they're animals, right? Are we supposed to be better than them? Now, these are the same people that tell you, that you can't form a legal marriage contract with somebody of the same pee-pee, right? But... they just, they have very different, pick and choose whatever little rules they want to abide by. Well, I don't know. I don't even know. What can you say? I do know, actually. And that's what I wish I didn't know. I'd probably be a lot less stressed out. I'm only 20 years old. Okay, look at my face. No, I'm only kidding. I wish. No, I don't wish I was 20. I wish I was younger, but knowing everything I know. That's the whole youth is wasted on the young type deal. Yeah, I get it. All right, I get it. Listen, where do we want to go? So today, what was I thinking about the show that... I hate to be right, frankly. And I don't mean right-wing, because I'm not. But I mean correct. I hate to be correct. And it sucks to be right. I'm right all the time. I can't take it. I want to be proven wrong. Like, for years, I've been telling everybody, and we've been discussing it, that Republicans hate democracy. And people would say... friends of mine say, oh, you're just being hyperbolic. They don't hate democracy. Like, they had it in their minds that they love democracy, or they, love America. They hate America. They're confused by this grand experiment in liberal democracy. They don't love this country. They're trying to destroy it. They're trying to change everything that America's supposed to be. Like, we the people, the general welfare, a nation of laws, a nation of immigrants. Everything about this country they hate. That makes us different. That makes us special. They loathe. They want us to be small. And just like the countries or just like the system the founders fought a revolution to overthrow. They want to be just like, they want to be a theocracy. We know this. They talk about it openly, and now they're actually openly talking about they hate democracy. It's coming out. I've told you we will get to this point that eventually the mask would slip away, and we would get to the point where they would simply admit it. I wish that they would admit it. All this time they had to play this game that they had some respect for democracy, but just it didn't happen with Trump. He is the symptom of this sickness. He's not the cause, he's the effect of the sickness that we've been dealing with for generations. With Bush. Remember Bush? Be a heck of a lot easier if I'm a dictator. As long as I'm the dictator. Well, that's what he said. No, dictatorship would be a heck of a lot easier. As long as I'm the dictator. That's what they care about. They don't want to play within the boundaries of democracy. And you know what? I'm sick of it. Yeah, it's very heartbreaking. We've had so many missed opportunities in this country because the people who are decent, who are trying to to live and to function and to have a functioning democracy they're far too goddamn generous with these conservatives who can't stand functioning or living in a democracy. From the founding to the Civil War to the Cold Civil War to every time we've had an opportunity, every time we take a leap forward, Republicans are standing in the way. There's so many missed opportunities. Not Republicans, I should say, conservatives. By any name, suck, because the conservatives used to be the Democratic Party, like the Democrats who rebelled against the country. They were the ones back in the day when the Republican Party was a progressive party, founded as an antidote to the entrenched Democratic slave-holding machine. So, but that, I know that's very confusing to Republicans because they sometimes write me or send me whatever. I don't know what they call it. To me, it's like it's like they pass gas and they stink up whatever with these sentiments that it doesn't matter how many times you correct them. They'll say, "Well, Democrats." It was the Democrats. The Democrats were the slaves owners. They loved the slaves. They had it's like you got to go back to 1860s to when it's like it doesn't matter what somebody calls themselves. What a thing is called is what I mean. It's what it is. Like. If I pick up some cat poo and put it in an ice cream cone and call it chocolate ice cream, you're going to take a lick and say delicious? It matters what it is. It doesn't matter what it's called. What is it? Is it a progressive party? Is it a conservative party? Is it an anti-democratic party? Okay. Yes. And, everything that's going on, I'm looking at the chat. If you're on other platforms, come on over to youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster to hang out in the greatest chat room in American history. I see Jim there. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat right out of the gate. And if you can become a patron, not you, Jim, everybody in general. I know Jim is already a patron, so if you can, please do at patreon.com/taradevlin. That will help keep the show going and growing. You know, all the little things we got to pay for, like the eCam. I'm going to put a link to eCam in the... Not today. Not while we're talking about it. If you ever wanted to become a podcaster or do your own show. eCam is, as much as I get frustrated, but eCam is actually a good, I don't know, what is it, an interface? It's a program for sure, but it keeps getting better all the time. And I remember I was an early adopter of eCam, and the guy who created it used to get on the phone with me and like personally troubleshoot all my problems. So I thought that was pretty cool. So Haiku, nice to see you in the chat. We got Haiku, our moderator, along with Jim, our other moderator. Welcome, Haiku. Hope you had a nice concert the other day. Hope you had fun. You gotta have fun now and then. You can't just sit in the house screaming about Republicans like I do. So let's see. Where do we begin? Okay, so what was I saying? Yes, Republicans hate democracy. There's something really broken in them, and that's why they need a big daddy. And of course, it's a man. They've done studies on this about conservatism. They are attracted to hierarchy because they're fundamentally cowards. Okay, it takes courage to live in a scary, complex world. So they need, especially these low effort thinkers. That's what they were categorized as in these studies that studied the fact that, how do they put it, that it's like low effort thinking is like when you get drunk and then you're like, and whatever's coming out of your mouth. The stupid things that come out of your mouth. Not that I haven't had a drink in goddamn double digits, so I can't ever remember. So I was drunk, so yeah. Anyway, so that's low effort thinking. So according to these studies, conservatives, they have, because of their larger amygdalas, and which is the fear center of the brain. And I remember discussing this one time with a friend, and he was like, I don't want to hear this. That sounds like eugenics. It sounds like this Nazi science where you say like somebody's brain makes you this or that. And, or like, what are they would measure people's brows or whatnot, how far their eyes are away, how their ears fall. But it's not that. The amygdala in the brain is a fear center. And they could tell with those who had larger fear centers in their brain, larger amygdalas, that they were attracted to conservatism. I don't know. Doesn't sound too spooky to me. It sounds, of course, because conservatives, they're fear-based. They want a daddy to save them, to make it okay, to save them from all the scary, complex world of others who don't know their place. That's it. Put everybody in their place, and then we'll all be happy. It'll be utopia. Hurt the people who need to be hurt. Kick them down. Stop with all this other people, like, all these genders. People changing their genders. It's anarchy. As if, like, it's an epidemic. Oh, the other thing that I found interesting, because the Republicans, speaking of trans people in general, they say that trans people, they don't know what they're doing when people want to transition. They just, they need to be stopped because they don't know. And they point to studies that show that there are an increased number of of human beings who are identifying as trans, and they say, look at this. This is a social contagion. This is because it's accepted, and that's why, people, they don't know what they're doing. They're just like, as soon as they say, "Mommy, I'm a girl," or "Mommy, I'm a boy," then they get dragged right to the doctor, and the doctor simply mutilates them the next day. And the fact is, because people come out of the closet, it makes it kind of safe for others to come out of the closet. It's not that there are all of a sudden, like this is something that never happened in the past. And interestingly, I saw this other video and somebody pointed it out. I can't remember the guy's name. I'd give him. He's a young man, and he's been doing a lot of great progressive videos. Let me see. And he pointed it out, like, for example, left-handed people. So if you look at the chart of over time of those who identified as left-handed, who said that they were left-handed, like all of the sudden, it goes way up after recent history. And we're talking like not too long ago. It was people who were left-handed were considered bad, evil. It was of the devil. You believe how stupid we are? And since that stopped being a thing, funny enough, a lot of human beings are simply accepting the fact that they're friggin' left-handed. Because what would happen is if you were left-handed, or if your parents saw you were left-handed, they would make you use your right hand. They would tie your left hand down. That's what happened actually to Ronald Reagan. He was left-handed, but he was forced to use his right hand. And he's not alone. Because how stupid. That in itself goes to show you how dumb, religion can be. Religion, right? That's what it did. That's religion. Left-handed is the devil. No, honey, you're the devil. You're the devil. Really, those who think left-handed people are of the devil are the devil. That's the truth. Like, leave people alone. What's the big deal? They put their bullshit. They just inflict their sick minds, their sick interpretations of Earth, of the world, of humanity, on everybody else. And if you behave within their paradigm and within the tight constraints of what they think humans should be and do and think and feel, then you're free. You're free. That's freedom to them. But, all right, where was I? I see you in there, Jonathan. Did I see your message? No, I did not. What message? I see a million messages from you coming in fast and furious. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's hard to keep up. Let me see. What message? What message? What message? All right. Lefties are the devil. Yes, Kathy. I want to be a lefty. I always wanted to be a lefty, actually. I don't know. I always found it interesting. Because I guess it's different, right? That's my social contagion. And I thought, I remember, having a friend who was left-handed who couldn't use a scissor that was right-handed. And I thought, oh, wow, that sucks. What a pain in the ass. Right? All right. So where do we even begin? I don't know. Well, first of all, let me start with something, and we'll just get it out of the way. I want to talk about Trump's Time magazine article. And briefly, as far as the protests that are going on college campuses, it's okay. I hope first of all, we know that Joe Biden is aware of this. And what gives me a little bit of comfort, because I was listening to Mike Malloy, the master, and he was saying that this is going to usher Donald Trump into the White House because these young people are not going to vote. They're going to, I mean, you're going to get a better deal for the Palestinians under Trump. That's what I don't understand with the young people who are saying, I get it. Yeah. Genocide is not good. You don't answer a war crime with a worse war crime, because all that Netanyahu is doing, frankly, and this is why conservatism, right-wingerism is not the answer. They created these terrorists. You think people want to be terrorists? They want a life. There's a remedy for it. It's called education, opportunity, entertainment, walking on the beach, going to the supermarket. You know what I mean? Like being able to just have a life and be left the fuck alone and do what you want to do. But if you take all their options away, if you contain them in the most densely populated area on Earth and deny them free access to travel and basically treat them as an apartheid state because you're afraid, I guess. I don't understand. The thing is, I'm reluctant to get into this topic as I say this because it's not my area of expertise, really. So I don't really, I know the remedial history of the area, and I know it's a lot more complex, but all I can say is that what Netanyahu is doing is setting up the Israeli people and Earth and everyone else for how many more generations of terrorism? That's what he's doing. Starving people, killing people, kids having to have their limbs removed without anesthesia. I mean, what are you doing? He's radicalizing people. That's what's happening. And you don't bomb people into submission. In fact, there's been numerous studies on what the effects of bombing campaigns, and what it does is it does not make people surrender. It actually radicalizes them. And you could relate to that. I know I would feel the same way if if I had no options and my city, my town was being bombed into dust and my friends and family were dying around me. I wouldn't be like, oh, okay, I'll be good now. I would be like, let's fucking kill these people. I don't know. I mean, legally and peacefully. Right? Like, wouldn't you feel radicalized by that? And it's not just me saying it. It's just that they know this already. And it feels to me that Netanyahu, who is afraid, he's like Trump. He wants to remain in office. Like Trump is desperately trying to get back into office despite receiving fewer votes because he doesn't want to face any consequences for his life of crime. Same thing for Netanyahu. He's under indictment. He's a criminal. He's unpopular. And he let the ball drop here. He took his eye off the ball. He allowed this to happen, the attack on October 7th. And his response to it is really sentencing the Israeli people for how many more decades of conflict. And nobody wants to live like that. No one on either side. And as far as what's going on the college campuses, now, I keep hearing, this is what gets on my nerves, is of course the corporate media is like, these kids they're shouting anti-Semitic slogans. Now I am, I will bet you that there are agent provocateurs within the crowd. Okay? Because you better believe that none of these protesters are screaming death to the Jews. If it's happening, it's an outlier. And I don't know, it seems to me that given the fact that in every movement that is an actual grassroots movement that rises up in the name of justice and human rights, there's always infiltrators like Umbrella Man, the Proud Pricks, justice to George Floyd as they shoot into a police station. So, I don't know. I'm a little sus about this. It's and all over the corporate media, they're like, I saw some guy, he's a general, I can't remember his name, but he was saying that I wore the uniform and fought for freedom and the freedom for these young people to express their views. But, okay, anything in my sponsor used to say anything after but is bullshit, right? But he said, this is not free speech, this is hate speech. And, you could take the stupid statement of one person, because he's like, we have documented cases of protesters saying death to the Jews or chanting death to the Jews. Where are these videos? Everybody has a phone. Everybody has a camera. We all have 4K cameras in our phones. How come I'm not seeing all these, videos? Except when the one guy, I think they got a video of one guy, but he ended up to be not in any way associated with the organizers of the protests or the protest itself. And you're always going to have outliers. And this is from everything, from the Freedom Summer movement to the lunch counters to the civil rights movement to, Martin Luther King had infiltrators. It's just, of course there's going to be people in there that are trying to disparage this protest as anti-Semitic, and just bringing up the fact that there's a war crime happening, and you don't pour gasoline on a fire like this. Of course, there has to be. Now, you know me. First of all, as somebody who did wear the uniform of this country, not that I'm a general or anything, or was a general, but I don't, I don't abide. You can't live next door to people that want to break through a wall and kidnap and rape you and murder you. No, that can't be tolerated. But starving the entire population, bombing the entire population it will not cure this sickness. What cures the sickness is you give people opportunity. And in fact, this is where Republicans suck. Conservatives suck in general. And we've talked about this before. Now I'm trying to remember in what context, because there was one of these Republicans where they were talking about crime rates in I think, anyway, whatever, Washington, I believe, Washington, D.C., and of course, the Republicans were like, no, I don't believe that. But the studies show that how you combat crime is you build, you build schools, you build parks, you build things that you create a community. You give people opportunity. You give them economic opportunity. It's not like, you can fix everything that's broken, because people are broken sometimes. But you don't cause terrorists to simply say, never mind, by making it worse, by killing more people, by starving children, it's just so, I don't know. It's just so disgusting to watch. And that's the problem. And I hope that, and I'm sure Joe Biden's not an idiot. I simply hope that I'm sure he will do something about this before it's too late as far as the election is concerned. So I hope that Mike Malloy, his prediction is wrong, because he's said that, I remember this this is what ushered Nixon into the White House, the protest, the student protests of the 1968, and how the Democratic convention coming up in Chicago once again. Hopefully, we won't have a repeat. Yeah, right? Am I wrong? Am I right? What do you guys think on the chat? I don't know. Yeah, we are a bit broken. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. But that's why, this is the thing, as far as compassion and talking about the squirrel, bringing the baby squirrels to the Wild Bird Fund. The Wild Bird Fund is a wildlife rehab center in New York City. So I think that's just beautiful. That you don't have to pay for it. You find a hurt animal, bird, a pigeon, all kinds of animals live here in New York. And you have options. You can bring it to the Wild Bird Fund, and you don't have to give. It's a city, or it's a public-private partnership, and no money is required to drop off a wounded animal. And when I was there dropping off the little squirrels, another person came up with some ducklings, and then another person came up with a pigeon, and then another within a matter of 20 minutes another one came up with a rabbit that somebody had just discarded on the street, of course, because they're Republican. Probably. So anyway, the Wild Bird Fund makes me feel hope. That's in the world. That is in the world too. And people appreciate that. They don't build statues, well, except in the South. I was going to say they don't build statues to scumbags who are selfish scumbags. But except, I guess, if you're a Confederate, right? You're worshiping the Confederate lost cause. And I don't know if you saw, there's a great series on Apple TV. If you have Apple, it'll probably be available in other platforms. We would talk about it briefly. It's called Manhunt. It's about the assassination of Lincoln and the search for Edward Stanton's search, the Secretary of War, Lincoln's Secretary of War, who went after John Wilkes Booth. And it's heartbreaking, frankly, because in every turn you see what this country could have been. And I know that the producers of the show were hoping, that told this story, because I think at least this is the effect it had on me, because the work is not yet done. And in the story, they recount how if Lincoln wasn't assassinated, we'd be living in a much different country. How Johnson betrayed Reconstruction, how he betrayed the newly freed, formerly enslaved people by taking away their land grants, which were in progress at the time. Could you imagine? You get a letter in the mail saying, we got your land right here. This is for you. After your years of servitude, everything you did to help build this country for free. We stole your labor. Here's some land, and you can build your life. And then in comes Johnson and takes it all away. Disgusting. And everywhere else where Reconstruction was cut off at the pass. And there is work, of course, and this is why we're still living in this country of, in the shadow of the failures of Reconstruction. But that was because of all the compromises with conservatism. Putting these slave owners back in power. All they had to do was say, oh, I cross my heart and hope to die. I love the Union. I will never be a bad boy again. I will never take up arms against my country. And then how Jefferson Davis was arrested and let go. Just let go after 2 years. And that's actually not in the show, but he should have been executed. Like Lee should have been executed. But anyway, okay, whatever. Because this is what we feel like if we model good behavior. Well, I don't feel this way anymore, but as far as conservatives, if this is what drives me crazy about people who are capable of functioning in a democracy, it seems to me that they feel as if they model good behavior, if they are sincere partners in governance with conservatives, that the conservatives will be like, yeah, okay, me too. Like, as you have to model good behavior for a child, sort of like that. Meanwhile, these conservatives are gnawing away at your innards from inside. And that's what they're doing. And here we are. Okay? And God help us. We will know in 6 months where this country is, whether it's going to live or die as a constitutionally limited democratic republic. So let's begin here. I don't want to really harp on it too much, but one of my most my bugaboos is the corporate media. And Nancy Pelosi was on Katie Tur's show. Now, I've said it before. Katie Tur is an undercover Republican. She strikes me that way. She says things like the Democrat AG. She doesn't say Democrat Party, though, but she uses Democrat as an adjective, and that's the giveaway, frankly. The Democrat AG. It's not a Democrat AG, okay? It's Democratic Attorney General, because it's called the Democratic Party. Democratic Party. So it's not a Democrat is a noun, not an adjective, and it's really goddamn tedious. And what should happen in the corporate media is they should say, whenever a Republican says Democrat Party or whatnot, they should point it out. Well, there they go again with their babyish, childish taunt. As we can see, they are incapable of functioning. It really does point out the fact that they're not sincere partners in governance. If they can't even call people by their name, what does that say? They have no interest in being a sincere partner in governance. So that's what it says. But so Nancy Pelosi was on Katie Tur's show, and I'll have to play it off the screen. Let me see. Here we go. Hold on. Do 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 do. Bop bop ba da bop. Yeah, isn't Boudica cute? She's a good girl. She's a good girl when she's sleeping. Wait a minute. Do, 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 do. Okay. Let's see. From the Daily Beast. Come on, move this over here. Put me over there. Press this button. I can't press it. I'm trying.
Mitch McConnell was on Meet the Press over the weekend saying he stood by what he said about January 6th, stood by his vote for acquittal in the Senate on the trial. He believes Donald Trump's responsible for January 6th, but he also says he's going to support the nominee for president, which is going to be Donald Trump. He thinks Joe Biden is too dangerous. And then Bill Barr is kind of doing the same thing. He was on CNN on Friday, and he was asked about this immunity argument that Donald Trump's lawyers are making, that that anything he does can be considered, or a president does can be considered.
First of all, let me just interject there. He thinks that anything Joe Biden does is too dangerous. What? What is too dangerous? Point it out. Don't just let it hang there as if it's the truth. Whatever he does is dangerous. Like what? What does he run with scissors? What are you talking about? He's it's just too dangerous. What? What's too dangerous? Medicare negotiating drug prices? Chips and Science Act? Infrastructure Week? No longer a laugh line? Actually coming to fruition? Is that what's too dangerous? $35 insulin? The lowest unemployment rate in 5 generations? What's too dangerous? What, he didn't wear a helmet when he was riding his bike? What is he doing that's too dangerous? But I would say that Trump, the guy who says I want to be a dictator on day one, has Joe Biden said he wanted to be a dictator on day one? Okay.
An official act, even if that means assassinating an opponent.
There's nothing dangerous about that.
Said about what he believes Donald Trump would not do.
Whatever. Let me move this
forward. Could do whatever he wants to do and resign, and then he's free off the hook. So this is really, I mean, if this court doesn't rule in the right way, we have real concerns about our democracy and the 3 branches of government. Yep. And we have to take a look at term limits for the courts or something.
Yes,
but that's neither here
nice
nor there.
To hear that.
Right now, it isn't what Bill Barr's interpretation is, if he thought he heard it or didn't hear it. What is important is what Donald Trump has said. Donald Trump is a great threat to our democracy. What is a democracy? What are the pillars? What are the pillars? A free and independent press to tell the story of what's going on, to keep everybody informed of what people are saying and doing. That transparency is essential. An independent judiciary when they're practically threatening on TV exposure of jurors in a trial of the president or any trial, any of that. What is an independent judiciary? Is about free and fair elections, and what do they do but suppress the vote? So there's nothing in his performance, if that's the word we'll use, what he has done, that would indicate that he cares, prioritizes, or ever valued or did anything to support a democracy. And now on the ballot saying he should have immunity from whatever he might do. I mean, really, I have sympathy and respect for everybody who votes. I'm glad people vote. I know some of them will always reject those of us who might look different to them in leadership or the rest, and that's that. But there are those who have real legitimate concerns about immigration, globalization, innovation, and what does that mean for their job and their family's future? And we have to address those concerns. And Joe Biden is doing that, created 9 million jobs in his term in office. Donald Trump has the worst record of job loss of any president. So we just have to make sure people know.
That was a global pandemic.
He had the worst record of any president. We've had other concerns in our country. If you want to be an apologist for Donald Trump, that may be your role, but it ain't mine. And he has the worst.
I don't think that anybody can accuse me of that.
Really?
Let me just say,
I accuse you every
House,
damn day.
We put forth a $3 trillion bill $3 trillion of investment in communities and the rest. And that is,
I don't think anybody can accuse me of that. Well, here's the other side of that coin. That first of all, Donald Trump, okay, where do I begin? Pardon me. So all over Twitter, which is a cesspool, the Republicans were playing this clip of Katie Tur. Normal people were also playing it and pointing out that Nancy Pelosi called Katie Tur a Trump apologist, and she often is. Like I said, but the Republicans were pointing out that they were saying, "Oh, this is how you see how the liberal media works." Even when a liberal like Katie Tur, and she's not a liberal, by the way, says that there was a global pandemic. That's why Donald Trump is Herbert Hoover. Nancy Pelosi can't take the truth or whatnot. And, well, here's the truth. Donald Trump has the worst jobs record of any modern president before the pandemic. That's the truth. That's the math. Trump's record. He had the worst job record of any modern president before the COVID-19 pandemic. When Trump took office in 2017, in January of 2017, oh God help us, employment was at 145.6 million. By the time he left office in January 2021, employment had declined by 3 million jobs to 142.6 million. This marked the worst presidential job record since the Great Depression under Herbert Hoover. But prior to the pandemic, Trump's job growth was already the worst. He was already lagging behind his predecessors. During the first 3 years of his term, the economy grew at an annualized rate of 1.5% compared to 1% under, The economy grew at, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an economist, but it's worse. It's worse. These are the numbers. Let me show you a chart. Hold on. And this is what I'm talking about. They're like, oh, if you see, everything's an excuse for the party of personal responsibility. Take responsibility. You suck. You didn't create one frickin' job while in office, and the worst. And it wasn't the COVID-19 pandemic. You have a good excuse there. But the facts, have a liberal bias. This is the jobs numbers right here. Job growth by presidential term. Look at Trump. Boom. Boom. It's a disgrace. Look at this. Look at all that. And the other thing is, this is a screen grab of, as you can see, Trump will have the worst job record in modern U.S. history, and it's not just the pandemic, from the Washington Post. But look at all the Democrats. See, the economy does better under Democrats, and that's just the facts. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these Republicans being like, oh, they're so good for the economy. What kind of mass delusion is that? What kind of, twisted mass hypnosis is that? You know what it is? It's the testament to the power of propaganda. That's why. When you watch the White House, the Correspondents' Dinner, I thought it was pretty. Well, I saw the Colin Jost. His set was. I thought it was pretty good, frankly. And where is this? Hold on, I'm trying to find my movies. But the thing is, while I'm looking this up, Give me a break. Oh, well, there was a global pandemic. How come Katie Tur doesn't know this? That's the other thing. I know this. Why doesn't Katie Tur know that even factoring out the pandemic, Trump had the worst job growth in modern American history? However, yeah, however you slice it, the catastrophic job losses were not solely a result of the pandemic, but because of Trump's policies that all the Republicans say they love. I just love his policies, as they say on the corporate media, but they don't ever ask. There's no follow-up. What fucking policies? Can you give me one? What policies? Just face it. If you like the Muslim ban, that's a policy. Give me it. Is that why you like it? I know you're totally not racist, though, but what is it? You like sending women to back alleys to die and increasing the abortion rate and causing trauma upon trauma? Okay. That's a policy, but what drives me up a wall is these people on corporate media, as if we all understand what they mean. Well, I just like his policies. What fucking policies? Give me a policy. I didn't see Trump with any policies because, frankly, they didn't even have a platform. The goddamn Republicans. As we know, the platform is whatever Trump wants to fart out that day. And of course he's incredibly gassy because he has a shitty diet. Of course he's gassy. He's disgusting. He eats crap. He eats nothing but McDonald's, all this greasy shit. He's old. He's out of shape. You tell me that Trump can do one push-up. I'll wait. He couldn't even do a girly push-up, on the knees. Forget about it. Yeah, Trump was the only post-World War II president to see employment, not unemployment, to see employment decline during his term. Employment went down, not unemployment. Employment, the only post-World War II president. That's over 75 years ago now. Unbelievable. This contrasts sharply, not just under, Joe Biden, but with every other president. Job growth seen under previous administrations. And as we could see by the chart that I just done shown, where is it? Democrats are better for the economy. They're better for jobs. And that is a fact that I hope is finally getting out there. I like his policy. What policy? Give me a policy. Oh, taxes. I like his tax policy. That's what I'll hear from the average Joe Republican that doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. Oh, you like the fact that billionaires can write off their yachts now. Yachts are a tax deduction, but not teachers' supplies. Teachers that have to buy school supplies, which in itself is a disgrace, they can no longer write them off on their taxes. Or mileage, or truckers who used to be able to write off mileage. Can't do that anymore, because if you want to give the billionaires a yacht tax giveaway, you got to get it from somewhere. You got to take it from somewhere. You got to take it from the politically unconnected, the idiots who will vote for you anyway, while you're slitting their throats and picking their pockets and throwing their grandmothers over a cliff. Jesus Christ. It's sickening. So Katie's, there was a global pandemic, but so? What I really wished Nancy Pelosi would have said, but it's difficult, I know, when you're under the spotlight and somebody is annoying you. And you think about, I should have said this, I should have said that. And all she did was repeat, he had the worst job record. What she should have said was, that is before the pandemic, not factoring in the pandemic. He had the worst economic growth of any president since World War II. So get a grip, Katie. Get a clue on top of it. This is the problem. This is why we're hanging by a thread. And Colin Jost in his routine, he summed it up.
So let me see if I can summarize where this race stands at this moment. The Republican candidate for president owes $500 million in fines for bank fraud and is currently spending his days farting himself awake during a porn star hush money trial, and the race is tied?
Exactly. How? How is this happening?
The race is tied. Nothing makes sense anymore. The candidate, who is a famous New York City playboy, took abortion rights away, and the guy who's trying to give you your abortion rights back is an 80-year-old Catholic. How does that make sense?
It doesn't make sense. But farting himself awake. Oh, that's Sleepy Don. Farting himself awake in his porn star hush money trial. And the race is tied. You know why? Why? I told you why. Because of the goddamn media. We wouldn't be in this boat without it. We wouldn't be hanging by a thread with a wannabe dictator telling us he's going to be a dictator on day one. And that ain't that strong? Because the Republicans, there's always a level, there's 35% authoritarian followers. There's always, that's why Trump's approval rating will never go below 35%, because they want the big daddy to tell them what to do. There's fascists here in this country, just like there's always been. Just like Henry Wallace warned us about. Vice President Henry Wallace, right? For those who don't know. And we're here because, you have pundits or hosts like Katie Tur talking to Nancy Pelosi, and Nancy Pelosi's just saying the truth. He's got the worst job record. Well, that was a pandemic. Without any context, without any clarification. No, Katie. It wasn't, there was a global pandemic, but Trump sucked before that. He sucked like everything else he's ever done sucked. Everything he touches sucks. And now, that's what gets me insane about what we're dealing with, like Colin Jost said. It doesn't make sense. Well, that's because you have a corporate media, or we have a corporate media, that is... it's just polls. Well, it's 50%. They're tied. Well, up in the polls, down in the polls. It's because of these polls. What are you going to say? Because, you know what? There's nothing that drives me insane more, besides everything else, than when media finds an undecided voter and sticks a microphone in their face and says, well, what do you think? Who are you going to vote for? I don't know. What? Undecided voter? If you're an undecided voter, shame on you. You should be embarrassed. Undecided voter? What's wrong with you? Undecided? What, you want another million dead? You liked that. You liked when the con man, licked dictator ass all over the globe. You liked when he told people to inject bleach as a remedy for COVID. You liked how he tore this country apart with his bullshit about I don't know. I'm not going to wear a mask. Like nothing, not a shred of leadership in this con man. This weak ass bitch, Putin's bitch. You liked Helsinki when he stood up in front of the world and embarrassed this country. Well, I don't know why he would lie. Taking a dictator who kills journalists, who hates democracy, who is openly hostile to America, taking that scumbag's word over the country's own intelligence agencies. You like that. You want that. You want more mass graves. You liked the refrigerated morgues, the makeshift morgues on the side of the road. They like it. They like Infrastructure Week being a laugh line. They just want, I guess, I don't even know what they want. What do you want? You just want to hate. You want to hate. You want to say, I'm real America. Real America. I don't know. I know I'm a gender. I got one gender and you got one, and that makes two genders. That's all you care about, right? As long as you can hate people. You could be openly racist. You could say, oh, poor me, the most put upon me. White men are we're the most picked on of all. That's it. That's all they want, I guess, because they ain't getting shit. Otherwise, you want to tell people what to read, tell people what to do. You tell people who to form a legal marriage contract with, other people who aren't harming you, who you don't know, who you will never meet, who just want to live their frickin' lives. You're going to tell them whether they can partner up with another person, but they can't because they got the same pee-pee. Such freaking babies. Infantile. But they love freedom, guys. They love freedom. Freedom abounds. The freedom within the constraints of everything they tell you. You're free to read whatever books you want as long as it's on their list, as long as they approve. You're free to get whatever medical care you think your child might need, as long as they agree with it, they approve of it. And it's condoned by their fake sky spook that they pretend to worship and to... I really wish they did. They don't have a sky spook. As far as they have, what I'm trying to say is they hate Jesus too. They like to use Jesus as an excuse for their hate. But we all know that if Jesus came back, they'd crucify him again. Like they did the first time, like the conservatives did the first time when Jesus came and said, hey, you know what? Well, the Old Testament says eye for an eye. I say turn the other cheek. Wow. What do you think the fucking conservatives did? They had a shit fit. Please. Oh, God. God, it's time to stop with this, playing nice with these right-wingers who simply, they can cry and whine and lash and be as racist as they want in the comforts of their own home and their own little communities, while we have a functioning society. They will come kicking and screaming as they always do, but the fact is, you don't give them power. You don't vote for them into power. They don't know what to do with it. They never did. They don't like being in power. They're the best when they're on the sidelines throwing poop, saying, you're not cleaning it up fast enough. You're not doing it right. You're not... This is all they do. The history of my life is, in this country, is from one administration to another, watching Republicans fuck it up and then Democrats cleaning up the mess, while Republicans stand out on the sidelines complaining about it. You're not doing it fast enough. You're not doing it better enough. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of, like, for example, that's why Obama, it was a heartbreak for me on so many levels, but he would invite the Republicans in, give me your ideas. Give me your shitty ideas, Republicans. The same shitty ideas that crashed the economy. We're on the verge of the second Republican Great Depression in 100 years. So give me your ideas. Right? Give me all your shitty ideas, Republicans. Those same ones. Oh, they only got a couple of ideas. You want me to lay them out? Tax cuts for the rich and deregulation. That's it. That's all they got. Because they're not really trying to govern. They're trying to pretend that I don't know what it is, they're ideologues. They're trying to inflict their manias on the world. Inflict them. That's all they're doing. See? Well, it's like, let's have more of the same shit that got us into the shit to begin with, like deregulation. The reason the economy crashed was partly because of deregulation, but let's have more of it. That's the problem. We didn't do more of it. I want small government. And deregulation and tax cuts, that's what it is. Who needs government? Who needs a library or a legal system or a health system or a education system? You're on your own, bubby. Maybe you can go... you'll be happy when we go back to the serfs and lords system. That's where we're going. Okay, yeah. I'm not kidding. And neither is Donald effing Trump. And come on, Colin Jost is 100% right. We got one guy farting himself awake, which I love. That's a great description. And another guy who's decent, who is capable, who's getting shit done in ways I never expected, and I'm pleasantly surprised that he's as progressive as he is. Oh, but it's the end of the world, according to Bill Barr, but we don't ever get to hear the details of that. You know what I mean? What is the point of this corporate media? They don't educate anybody. Everything's a Rorschach test. Just say it. Say something, and you're supposed to fill in the blanks. They're not educating anyone. They're not giving them the information. Like Joe Biden has the best job record of any modern president in how many generations? 5 generations. And Donald Trump has the worst of all modern presidents. But, Katie Turk, just even her saying that, it was a global pandemic. What an excuse. First of all, you are an apologist, and you're wrong. There was a global pandemic, yes, but Donald Trump sucked before that. And he sucked after that. And remember, oh yeah, that's what you want. Remember when we had the global pandemic and Donald Trump was like, well, look to your own. It was like the Romans, when the Romans cut and ran from England. Look to your own defenses. You just got to look to yourselves now. See ya. And that's Donald Trump. Look to yourself. That's what you're saying. That's why we had the good old days. Remember when nurses were wearing garbage bags as protective equipment? And recycling, using the same N95 masks? Having to wash them out, reuse them. Yeah, that's the richest country on earth. Because you had this dullard, this unfit moron who wasn't prepared. He's not, what? A global pandemic? He's barely prepared to come down and into the Oval Office to respond to a mean tweet. That's all he cares about. Who's he? What hush money is Karen McDougal staying silent? Is Stormy paid off in installments because I'm such a billionaire? I got to put my porn stars on an installment plan. What a Family Guy. That's the other thing. In his trial, one of their defense is like, oh, he just didn't want his wife, his loving wife, his third trophy wife, number 3, to find out that he was, stuck his smaller than average member into a porn star, a reluctant porn star. Well, reluctantly, she accepted it, but he's such a family man. He just didn't want to. He wanted to spare her the gory details of his escapades. Please, she's probably relieved. And now, the poor whiny little bitch. I can't even go to my son's graduation. He didn't go to his other son's graduations. He didn't go to Donald Trump Jr.'s high school graduation. He didn't go to Eric's high school graduation. And the bad thing is that the judge is now allowing him. The judge, just go away, you whiny little bitch. You go to your son's graduation. And Donald Trump is mad. Because he can't complain about it now. And now he actually has to go to his son's graduation. You think he wants to be there? Are you kidding me? And who the hell else wants him there? If you're another parent who has a child in the same school, you don't want that lumbering ghoul in your ruining the graduation. Please. God. It's so annoying, isn't it? Just thinking about Katie Tur. Well, there was a global pandemic. Why doesn't... I'm sorry to keep repeating that, but why doesn't Katie Tur know that he had the worst record and it had nothing to do with the pandemic? Not factoring in the pandemic, he still had the worst record. Why doesn't she know that? Why is she repeating bullshit? Is she auditioning for Fox News? I would not be surprised if she went to Fox News, frankly. Yeah. Thank you, non-useful, on the chat for your super chat. Diaper pudding Don. Ugh. Exactly. Ugh. Right. Jim on the chat. Barron is appealing that ruling. Yes. He doesn't want his father there. Why? Ugh. They're so close. You know, how he throws the ball around in the yard when they were growing up. When he was growing up, I should say. Well, his father is like a 2-year-old, so. That's one of the things I liked in the White House Correspondents' Dinner when Joe Biden was mocking Donald Trump. That was good. He needs to do more of that. He said, I'm running against a 6-year-old. Yes, you are. Nobody likes a bratty 6-year-old either. A rich, entitled, whiny little bitch 6-year-old. Yes, yes, yes. Well, anyway. Where do I begin? So this Time magazine interview with the scumbag, con man, is really chilling. Now, if you... Let's look at this picture. Oop, where is it? How come it's not showing up? Here we go. He looks strong. That's what he thinks. He looks so strong. With that stupid frog face of his. And come on. Let me open this. Zoom in a little. I know, I hope you're not eating. I apologize. Does anybody see life in those eyes? They're dead. Dead. Dead eyes. Again. He's got dead eyes. I'm sorry, people. Like Christina. Let's look at her eyes. Christy. She must have dead eyes, too. She's a sociopath. She killed her chances. Christine Ohm's odds. Disgusting. Let's see. That's a low-res image. I just want to see her eyes. You can tell a lot by people. Oh, look at that. Yeah, dead. Look at that. You see any life in those eyes? I don't know, man. Dead. Lifeless. Soulless. Anyway, getting back. Ooh, look at that. He is fucking orange, people. He's orange. Zoom out. Zoom out. He is goddamn orange. And it's not a joke. That is the real deal. He's orange. I want to try something, actually. I want to pick... Let me do a screen grab of his face. Screen grab his face. Let me see. I want to open up Photoshop. Open up photo. Open. I want to bring this screen grab into Photoshop. All right, let's see. Let me show you Photoshop. I just want to use the color picker in Photoshop and see what color that is. Look at that. What is it? And, you know what I should do? Actually, let me open. I'll open After Effects because it will make a solid, and After Effects will name the solid the color that it is, that it thinks it is. I should say. I just want to see what actual color that is because that is not human. That's not a human tone. I know maybe I have a ghostly pallor akin to Casper the Ghost, but it's not orange. Orange is not a human color, is it? Are people orange besides him? You know who's orange? People who are sick. They're orange. They're yellow. I remember my friend used to drink carrot juice anymore. I can't even talk. He used to drink carrot juice every morning, and until he turned orange. He didn't realize. He thought he was doing a good thing, being healthy and all, until he looked in the mirror and was like, holy shit, I'm orange. Wait, what's going on here? I'm getting a... Uh-oh, here's Francis. Something's going on. It's not letting me open this. Hold on. I'm going to have to try it again. It might be anticlimactic. It's not supposed to be. I'm just curious. I don't know. It's a Wednesday. Uh-oh, and here's Francis. Francis. Uh-oh, here's Francis. Come on, Francis. Whee! It's Francis. I got you, Franny. I got your Fran. The Fran man. All right, let's try this again. All right, honey. I see you. Good boy. Good boy. You're a good boy. All right, hold on. Let's see. After Effects. All right, this is After Effects. Let's do this. We'll bring the face in there. We'll make a comp. And then, let's see, make a solid. Let's see what it calls it. Look at that. Medium gray orange solid. Gray orange. Gray orange. Gray orange. See? Medium gray orange. Those are two colors that human beings shouldn't be. Let's try another. I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm sorry. We'll get into another topic in a second. Let's go to the darker one. Medium gray orange solid too. Okay. All right, he's medium gray orange. Yuck. Isn't that the stuff of nightmares right there? All right. Francis, get the hell down, please. You're sitting on the keyboard. See, look, he's... Now it's going to open up Paramount TV. Oh, Francis. All right. God damn it, Francis. Stop. Leave me alone. Go lay down. Wait. I'm looped. I'm looped up. Go up there. Leave me alone, kid. All right. Yeah, rotting orange right before it turns gray. You shouldn't be gray. You know? Humans shouldn't be gray or orange. And they certainly shouldn't be gray-orange. Ugh. Ugh. All right. According to... Let's look at Time. Trump's Time interview. Based... Where is it? Let me open up the page. How far will Trump go? Look at him. Ugh. It's so... It makes me want to puke. Not that. Wait. That too, but... How far will he go? The cover of Time. With that fucking face. Ugh. Ugh. How far should he go? He should just go. Go, you know? Go Galt. Whatever you want to do. Go. Simply go. Filthy bastard. But he that dead-eye look. He thinks he's... It's a tough look. That's his tough guy look. And he thinks he's tough. He thinks that being a racist bitch... How does it, but first, he thinks that's tough, but how do you think licking dictators' balls all over the world, that's tough? That's tough. You think it's strong. He envisions, according to the Time magazine article, he reveals a vision for an imperial presidency. And remember, this is why we were talking about it earlier. How it's not, he's the symptom. He's not the cause. He's the effect. But all back during George W. Bush, how Republicans were talking about the unitary executive. Remember that? And I remember Mike Malloy talking about it, saying how that sounds like king to me. The unitary executive, where the president could do whatever the fuck he wanted without the checks and balances that the founders fought a revolution to install and to create in our government. And they want to wipe their ass with that. Checks and balances? Unitary executive. Well, now we have the imperial presidency, but it's always been the same thing. Republicans hate democracy. They are a fundamentally undemocratic party. Small d democratic. His plans, these are out in the open, and God help us for the ones that he's keeping under wraps because he thinks they're too radical. That's the other thing. He likes to, he first of all, he thinks that the assholes who cheer him, this is what they want. That's why he's doing it. Not only that, he's a weak-ass bitch. He can't function in a democracy. He is weak. He can't build coalitions. He can't get on the phone and talk to people except to threaten them. To send his mob after them. That's all he can do. He's not fit to hold leadership positions in a modern nation. He can't do it. That's why he wants to be a king, because he's weak. He can't exist in the paradigm of a democracy. He can't exist. He doesn't know how to do it. That's why he thinks democracies suck. He's a dirtbag. I don't know. I like his policies. I'm not sure. I'm a undecided voter. I like his undecided. How dare you? You dummy. What do you mean you're undecided? I haven't seen enough mass graves in America. The last time we had how ironic, the last time we had mass graves in America was in 1860s. And here are the Republicans trying to drag us back to the 1860s, actually inflicting the same laws on us from the 1860s and more. I mean, it's just so, it's so sweet. Oh, God. If reelected in 2024 with his plans include mass deportations, reshaping law enforcement, meaning, police state, because Republicans hate the police, you understand? As January 6th is a testament to. They hate they always say, we Blue Lives Matter, support the police. They hate the police. They like the police state. And shame on all those cops that this piece of shit uses as a backdrop. Shame on them. They don't have to be there. Shame on them. They should be ashamed. If they had the capacity to shame. For shame. He wants to alter foreign policy, meaning get us out of NATO, let authoritarians rule the earth, just stomp all over Europe again. This tiny little bitch who had this is what I saw, such a disgrace. when he went over to Normandy, the 75th anniversary of the Normandy invasion. This draft-dodging, bone-spur, goddamn little salute, fake-ass fucking patriot. How dare he go over to Normandy and sit there and then and in front of a backdrop of tombstones of our fellow Americans who gave their lives on foreign soil fighting fascists like him. He sits there going, "Nervous Nancy. Oh, I like his policies. He's just like me. He hates America just like me. He's a child. He's a freaking perpetually victimized child just like me." Oh, God. Altering foreign policy and a shift towards authoritarian measures. I don't know. I'm undecided. I'm an undecided voter. I'm so sick of it. I swear to God, I'm going to scream the next time I hear anyone on the corporate media stick a freaking microphone into any one of these stupid undecided voters' faces and they say, "I don't know, I might choose Donald Trump. I like his policies." And they say nothing. When the question, the follow-up should be, what policies, please? Give me one. You could use your phone if you want. You can Google it. Jesus Christ. How dare they? They should be ashamed. Traitors. Sick. And Margot on the chat says, so many people I know are casually voting for Trump. It blows my mind. Creepy smiles when I try to give facts. Well, facts, facts are pesky things. They want that back. What are you talking about? Just the fact that somebody left the Oval Office with 1 million corpses in his wake. No one killed more Americans than Donald Trump. No one. He killed more Americans than every single war we've ever been in combined. His fucking abhorrent lack of leadership left over 1 million Americans dead and tore this country apart. This, once again, what could have been a unifying experience for the American people, like it was for other countries around the world, except the ones who didn't have to deal with these authoritarian dictator wannabes. They had in other countries. That's why they were able to get it under control without leaving millions in their dead in their wake, without having to endure the fucking tedium of these morons having meltdowns everywhere they went. If somebody told them to put on a mask, then they'd shit their diapers, the plane would be held up, or they'd have a goddamn conniption on going to a goddamn supermarket. You can't put a piece of cloth on your face. How dare you? Freedom! Like the frickin' William Wallace. They think which they know nothing about history anyway. They think Braveheart is goddamn documentary. I hate them. Legally and peacefully. I mean, it could have been a unifying experience for the country. We're in this together. We don't leave people behind. The reason we wear masks is because we're trying to stop the spread of the virus, so our fellow Americans on the front lines can get a day off now and then. They don't have to work 16-hour days, 7 days a week until they drop. But Republicans don't give a shit about their fellow Americans. The fact that our nurses and doctors had to wear garbage bags. They didn't have the equipment because of him. Because of con man. The lack of leadership. Oh, look to yourselves. Yeah, get what you can. Oh, you need respirators? You know, fucking, I don't know, whatever. It's not like the federal government has anything to do with this goddamn pandemic. Of course it does. But he sucks. He doesn't know how to lead. He's not a leader. He's always been a follower. Look at everything he's ever done. That's the other thing. They were like, oh, he's a businessman. No, he's a fucking grifter who took other people's scams and failed at them. Oh, he put his name on buildings. Whoopee doopy. What did he ever innovate? What did he ever create? Oh, he came up with a magazine. He did a multi-level marketing vitamin scam. Oh yeah, what a businessman. What a businessman. He's a fucking grifter. Excuse my language, but it's after 10, so. He's a grifter who never created anything. He never changed anything. He's a real estate. He did some real estate. Well, he built some shitty buildings that'll collapse. You know, sometimes I love history, as you know, and I look at in documentaries. I haven't seen the ruins of Egypt with my own eyes or in Rome, and I think about those amazing buildings, what they must have looked like in their prime, of course. And sometimes when you go online, they do reconstructions and what they did look like, and it's pretty marvelous. But I'm sure the people who were living in those times could never imagine the future. Just a mere 2,000 years later, the rubble that these buildings would fall to. That's Trump. You understand? Because he built his shitty buildings, and I feel bad for the people that live in them. There's standards that Republicans hate, regulation, all these pesky regulations, that ensure that the building you're living in doesn't come pancaking down on your head like they do in other countries. Well, they're doing it here now. Well, bridges are falling. Thank you, Joe Biden, for Infrastructure Week coming to fruition, because we certainly need it. But there are standards that you have to build things to spec. So, it's safety. Safety first. And Donald Trump, instead of using steel in certain parts of his tacky buildings, he used concrete. Oopsie. Whoopsie boopsie. Well, it's money. It's cheaper. And whatever. By the time they crumble, he's going to be dead. That's all he cares about. By the time it comes back to bite whoever is unlucky enough to live there, he'll be nothing but a vomitous stain on our history. Ugh. And everything he touches is like a ripple effect of failure. But that affects people's lives, of course. Well, what does he care? He's a sociopath. Trump envisions radical changes, including deportation operations, potential interference with law enforcement, and reshaping of presidential power. The unitary executive, I guess, that the Republicans were, all masturbating over. Because they hate America. You understand? That's what it is. Oh, yeah, they don't want no checks and balances. Look at that baloney Supreme Court they got. That illegitimate, scummy court. the billionaires' pets. That's all they are. They have no decency. Oh, I'm not. We're talking about the future. Whether all these, well, I'm talking about in there the arguments whether the con man has immunity for his crimes. He has immunity. Does he have immunity for a coup? Well, maybe. We need to think about this, but I'm not really thinking about this actual case. We're thinking about the future. Let's not discuss the actual case we're actually supposed to be hearing. Because, we want Donald Trump to win. Because, I don't know, so we can inflict our sick, conservative, anti-democratic point of view and shove it down America's throats and make sure they can do nothing about it for generations. Hello, Tara Jr. I envy you, Junior. Let's see. Plans include restructuring the presidency to expand executive power and potentially challenge existing laws. I can't take it. This is why. We'll know in 6 months whether people are dumb enough to slit their own throats in this country. How much they hate this country. How confused they are by it. And then the corporate media will be like, what happened? All right. Relax, everybody. Stop. Come, gripe. He's always griping. Why are you griping? I love you. You're a good boy. Let's see. Potential second-term agenda involves reshaping American democracy and institutions, raising concerns about authoritarian shifts. Trump's contentious stance on abortion and international relations could have significant impacts if realized. His approach includes disruptive executive actions, loyalty tests, isn't that wonderful, and reshaping the bureaucracy. What a piece of dirt these people are. Tell your friends who are confused and Margot and want to vote for this orange traitor. Shame on them. Shame on them. I mean, really, how much do they hate themselves? How stupid are they? Here's the other thing, and I'll repeat it, guys, because we know. Mark my words. One day soon, in the not too distant future, those who supported Trump will only speak of it in shamed whispers. You could bet on that. You can bet on it. Every single one of them. Shamed whispers. All the ones who cheered. It'll happen. Look what happened in Nazi Germany. You ever see those old newsreels? Miles and miles and miles of cheering and waving at their Führer. And then, by the time it was all said and done, no, I never supported him. No, not me. No, hey, no. But it's going to be the same with Trump. But the sad thing is that it never ends well. Authoritarianism, fascism, never ends well. Right, Boudica? Oh, brother. And I'm not kidding, though. Here's the thing. I always say Republicans hate America. They hate democracy. They're not hiding it anymore. And people would say, oh, you're just being hyperbolic, aren't you? No. I'm being real. I'm talking real good, I say. And Let me see. They're confused by her. Republicans hate democracy. Where is this? Where is this? I have some notes here. See, Republicans hate democracy. That's one of my notes. Oh my God. Boudica, you're so annoying. You know what she does? Let me turn on this camera here. If I can. If I may. Ecamm has the ability to turn your phone into a camera. Let me see if I could do that. iPhone camera. Click to start. Okay, that's the camera. How come it's not? Okay. Connected. What's going on? How come I don't see anything now? Click to start. Because I want to show you what she's doing. Why is that not playing? It's black. Resume, maybe. Oh, there we go. Look at her. This is Boudica. She's in the pillow. Booty. 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 She's ruining all my pillows. Booty. Booty. Come out, Booty. Boudica. Come on. She's in the pillow. There she is. She's out. Isn't she cute? She's adorable. Now she's going back in the pillow. She's ripping up all my pillows. What do you think? A pillow is a game? Do you think a pillow is a game, Boudica? Or is a pillow a plaything? You're a good girl, Booty. You're a good girl. She's feeling very self-conscious now that we are watching her. She can't help it. She's going in. You going back in the pillow? Right? You good girl. She's a good girl when she's being bad. All right. That was a good shot of Boudica. She's very cute, isn't she? She's a good girl. All right, here's it. Here, let me see. Oh my God. Everybody relax. The last thing. Okay. What do I always say? Republicans hate America. They hate democracy. Well, here we go. They're writing it into their what do you call it? When they have platforms, generally the Republican Party doesn't have a platform. As we know, that was shocking, right? When Republicans during the Trump maladministration suddenly didn't even publish a platform because their platform is anything that Trump farts out in the middle of the night. And then they say, yes, sir, yes, sir. Your farts, they smell so delightful. They smell like Febreze. Really? Can you come and fart on my linen because it needs a little freshening up, like Febreze. Mein Führer. So, the Washington Post writes, well, there's an article in the Washington, no, not the Washington Post. The Washington GOP in the Seattle Times. The article, the headline screams basically that the Washington GOP put it in writing that they're not into democracy. They're just not into it. And they should be ashamed. And that's what you should tell your friends, Margot. Shame on you. I thought you loved America. You love democracy? You love America? You understand that everyone who ever died for this thing is in their cold, early grave, and these people are spitting in their faces and disgracing their sacrifices The ultimate sacrifice for democracy. And these people are just like, nah. Oh, but they love the troops, right? They love the troops. Like, well, except for Trump. He thinks they're losers and suckers and only supports... He likes troops who aren't captured either. That's the other thing. You know, support the troops except when you're captured. I can't even believe the things that this asshole talks about. Not this asshole. I'm talking about Trump. Political forecasters called it that the political forecasters called it that the state Republican convention would feature turmoil, ending in endorsements of the most extreme candidates, all to match the party's current MAGA mood. And this is an article in the Seattle Times by Danny Westneat, Seattle Times columnist. Among the jilted was the Republican frontrunner for governor, former Sheriff Dave Reichart, who was left putting out an APB for the GOP. The party's been taken hostage, he told the Spokesman Review. But there was another strain to the proceedings last weekend that didn't get much attention. Political conventions are often colorful. Ooh, this guy is really making it hard for me. Political conventions are often colorful curiosities. This one took a darker turn. The Republican base, it turns out, is now opposed to democracy. Their words, not mine. After the candidates left, the convention's delegates got down to crafting a party platform. Like at most GOP gatherings in the Trader Trump era, well, he says Donald Trump, this one called for restrictions on voting. See? They hate America. In Washington State, the delegates called for the end of all mail-in voting. End of it. That's it. You know, Republicans used to be into mail-in voting until Trump was like, oh, it sucks, it sucks. Now they were the ones that utilized mail-in voting more frequently than Democrats. But okay. See, instead, we would have only one day to vote. See, because that's what Republicans do. They hate America. They hate democracy. They want to rule without any kind of mandate. Forget it. Forget the slim majority. They don't care about mandates. Or they don't care about majority. They don't care about the will of the people. They're always going on about the people, the people. The only thing they think the people want is to hate other people. The people, the people. The people don't like whatever you doing a legal marriage contract. That's all they care about. The people want to know what you're reading. The people. Don't put on a piece of cloth over your face for the people. Fuck the people. Me. That's all they want. I mean, these people, they suck. They suck. That is this. It's really all it boils down to. After the candidate, the crafting of the party platform, like the GOP gatherings in Washington State, the delegates called for the end of all mail-in voting. Instead, we would have only one day, an in-person election. Just one day. You know, it won't be on a weekend either. It'll be during the week, right, in the middle of, general work hours, with photo ID and paper ballots with no automatic or electronic tabulating machines or digital scanners to count the ballots, to make it as hard as possible on everybody. All ballots would be counted by hand. Unbelievable. Let's see. But then the convention veered into a more unexpected anti-democratic territory, even more. A resolution called for ending the ability to vote for U.S. senators. Instead, senators would be appointed by state legislatures. Again, back that's the way it used to be, as it generally worked 110 years ago, prior to the passage of the 17th Amendment. They want to, they got their constitutions in the pocket, though, right? Let me see your Constitution. They hate the Constitution, just like they hate the Bill of Rights, the flag. They like the colors. They like eagles on their shirts and stars. But they don't like what it means. This is a quote. We are devolving into a democracy because that's a bad thing. Because congressmen and senators are elected by the same pool, the pool of, humans that the Republicans pretend to represent. The same pool of their constituents was how one GOP delegate put it. We don't want to be a democracy, quote unquote. We don't, says the author of the article. There are debates about how complete of a democracy we wish to be. For example, the state Democratic Party platform has called for the direct election of the president, doing away with the Electoral College, which would be a relief, frankly. But curtailing our own vote? The GOPers said they hoped states' rights would be strengthened with such a move, which that's Trump's bullshit excuse for everything now. He's like, states, when they talk about abortion, he's like, bring it back to the states, the states, the states. I mean, he's such a weak little bitch. And that's their answer to everything. The states, the states. If the states want to reestablish slavery, that's the states. It's on the states. The states, the states, the states, the states. Fuck you, the states. That's all the Republicans. It's another excuse to be a racist. And the states. Be like the states. Let me see. Hold on. Where was I? Then they kicked it up a notch. They passed a resolution calling on people to please, for the love of the Jesus we pretend to worship, please stop using the word democracy. Because they love freedom. Don't use that word, democracy. Because they don't want the people getting uppity. This is, what have I been saying? That Republicans are dragging us back to the time that the founders fought a revolution to escape. What the fuck is this? Of course, this is what it is. Back in the day when the founders fought a revolution to overthrow. Democracy was a dirty word. It means rule by the dirty, the unwashed, the stupids, the plebs. It's chaos. It's Babylonian discord. We hate democracy. That's what it is. They hate democracy. Just like they did in the aristocracy, the intergenerational aristocracy, in the monarchy. Because it limits the power of the oppressor, which Republicans hope to be. They want the power to rule you without your ability to do anything about it. Because they love freedom. Freedom for me, not for thee. They want the freedom to stomp on your neck. They want the but they'll do it while waving the flag. They'll wave the flag. They'll say, God bless America. And they'll have a tear streaking their cheek. Every time the word democracy is used favorably, it serves to promote the principles of the Democratic Party. The principles of which we oppose ardently. What principles? Medicare? Negotiating drug prices? Health care as a right? not a privilege. Living wages, retirement security, decent middle class life. What other principles? Freedom, actual freedom. Freedom to think, to go to school, to discuss, to be frail, to be human, to walk on the beach, to take a day off. I don't know. It wasn't that long ago when Republican presidents would extol democracy as America's greatest export, or sometimes try to share it with others down the barrel of a gun. Remember that? George W. Bush in Iraq? Now the party is saying they don't even want to hear the D word anymore. Of course, we're not donning togas and rushing down to the Acropolis to vote on legislation. So it's true, we don't have a direct democracy, though initiatives and referendums are exceptions, but that's Republicans do whatever they can to overthrow them. It's a hybrid system, a representative democracy, with the people periodically voting for elected leaders to do the legislating. During much of our lifetimes, the debate in this arena has been, how can representative democracy be made more representative? How can more voices be heard? Right? That's true. How can we bring more into the franchise? People with darker pigment, women. How can we make a more perfect union in this diverse melting pot? Our uniquely American nation of immigrants founded on an idea, not on a bloodline. That's what's unique about America, that we attract the world. That's that's a strength, you know. We get to pick people that they want to come here. People with initiative who they get off their ass, they move their whole entire life. Those are go-getters. That's the kind of people we want. If you're not a racist and you understand that, but honestly, I will trade every racist for a refugee any day. Any goddamn day of the week. Any native-born racist with any refugee. I'll trade him for a goddamn... I'll trade one refugee for a goddamn stadium of racists. Not everyone at the convention agreed, okay. Some of the delegates seemed to have contempt for voting and voters, at least when they came out on the losing side of it. The same people who select the baboons, this is a quote, the same people who select the baboons in Olympia are the ones selecting your senators. You see that? They hate the people they pretend to represent. Baboons? Well, yeah, the baboons selected you, didn't they? Republicans? Those are the baboons. The same people who selected the baboons in Olympia. How dare you? How dare these people? But, you know, this is the problem. We'll have Katie Tur. Well, let's go on another poll. Let's talk about Donald Trump for another fucking 18 hours straight. To 18, 24, 25 hours, it feels. I mean, God damn it. And then, but let's not hear anything about this, though, right? About the Republicans debating. They're just disparaging democracy. Who are you going to vote for? I don't know. I'm undecided. I'm undecided whether I vote for somebody that doesn't want me to vote and hates me, hates the American people, hates everyone that ever gave their life for democracy, is spitting on their graves. I don't know. Or the ones who are capable of functioning in a democracy, that believe in it, that are actually trying to meet the needs of society, of the American people. Jesus, I don't know. I'm undecided. So, a party platform is a statement of principles. It has little to no chance of being implemented, so it's tempting to ignore it or wish it away, as Reichert is trying to do by suggesting that the real party is out there somewhere, having been abducted by imposters. So, the author of the article writes, when people say democracy's on the ballot in this election, this is what they're talking about. Trump tried to, so he continues, for years, since Trump tried to overturn the 2020 election, some Republicans have been on the defensive about charges they're flirting with anti-democratic impulses or authoritarianism. A while back, this newspaper ran an op-ed from a leading conservative, the editor of the National Review. He argued that despite Trump's attempts to block the transfer of power and the party largely backing him on that, the whole thing has been blown out of proportion. But yeah, okay. It's been a myth that the Democrats hold about Republicans, he suggested. It's similar, he argued, to the misconceptions that Republicans have that Democrats are committing mass election fraud. Oh, so Republicans have been lied to and told that Democrats are committing mass election fraud, which isn't true. Yet he's saying that the fact that Trump and the Republicans are all lying that the election was stolen, that's a mass delusion on our part, on normal people's part, even though Trump says it every day. And now there was just a debate. One of these Republicans, I think it was in Arizona, they had a debate. I don't remember. You can't quote me on the location, but all of the Republicans were asked who believes the 2020 election was stolen, and I think there were 6 of these potential candidates on the stage, and they all raised their hand. This is now it's a requirement in the Republican Party that you assert the election was stolen, that any election you don't win is stolen. Unbelievable. They actually wrote, this is an opinion. Where is it? The Seattle Times. Now I got a paywall. Oh, well. Republicans aren't against democracy. That was the headline of this op-ed. Although that was a few years ago. They're not against democracy. Well, now they're putting it in writing. Now it's in their platform. Now they're saying don't use the word democracy. We hate democracy. They do hate democracy. Isn't it an action? Hate is an action. They're putting their hate in action. Making voting next to impossible for many people. Disparaging the American voter. Oh, Lordy. Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. I hope there are tapes. All right, listen, guys. I gotta get unconscious. It's after 11. My cats are even quieting down. I gotta go get unconscious. I'm exhausted. I hope my little squirrelies are doing good. I will call the Wild Bird Fund in a week or two to find out how they went, how they go. Maybe I'll even visit them. Look at the squirrel. Look how cute. Isn't that a cute little thing? Where's the video? There were 4 of them. I was petting them too. I don't know if that was good. Well, squirrels do live among people, though they shouldn't be too friendly. I couldn't help it. They were just too cute. And it was so sweet. Their little eyes. I hope Mama's all right. I really do. Where's the freaking video? I can't find it. Ah. Damn it. All right. Well, I'll just look at that and be satisfied with this cute squirrel. It's a squirrel. A baby squirrel. Look at that little nose. Look at that little eye. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out. If you can, become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Also, check out APS Radio News. Thank you, Charlie, for making Tarabuster a part of your APS Radio News roster. And for all you do for the show, to keep the show going and growing. All that you do for the community cats. All that you do for this sad, sad country. God help us. And what else? Well, let's put it this way. Share the show with your friends. I'll see you on Friday night. So we'll be back here for our regular Friday standard gathering at 8:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here. Right here at the Tarabuster, Facebook, YouTube, all those other places. In the meantime, thank you for hanging out. You guys are great. I love you. It was really nice seeing you. I know, so tiny, Margot says. They were like smaller than kittens, of course. Very tiny, very cute. Not at all mean, of course. Just little babies. Little babies. They wouldn't have made it, you know. I had to take them. They would have, because they also need to be warm. So I put some, this is how I found them. The guys put them in this box. But they would have died. They needed to be warm. That's why they were in all those rags. I put some hand warmers in there. So they were very nice and warm. And I'm sure, and I didn't feed them. Because it said don't feed them on the website of what to do when you find a squirrel. All right. We will win. We will. Why? Why? Why, Tara? Why? Because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We love democracy. We love America. We are the real patriots. We really are. And we stick together. We win. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for your support. My name is Tara Devlin, and I will see you on Friday night. Oh, wrong. See how dramatic. Well, we might as well look at this chart once again. The failures of Trump. Look at all these Democrats. Look at how much better the economy does under Democrats. Look at the Republicans. Every one of them sucks. Reagan. Look. Johnson, Truman, even Clinton. See? All right. And there's Trump. Limp, as always. Limp and failed. We stick together, we win. I'll see you on Friday night.